I wanted to make sure I got this in before my day begins. We're in Hebrews chapter 11, and we've done the first verse, which I shared with you is the first verse that I ever memorized, and then I ended up memorizing this entire chapter. The first verse, it tells us that people of faith are commended for believing in things that they cannot see with their mortal eyes. And that's like the definition of faith. The second verse has a similar kind of concept, and that's what I really want to talk with you about, a connection of these two ideas. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. And so this is the second time now that the writer has said that people of faith have this gift, and it is a gift, this gift of being able to look at life and the world around them through eyes that see things that others do not see, and things that are invisible to mortals. And so faith believes in the invisible. And I think that's a profound truth. You know, a lot of times in life, when we face a struggle or a hardship, that's very visible, and that's something that we see and we feel, and sometimes we can touch it. And sometimes it hurts and sorrowful. Trouble is trouble, you know, and we all have it at different times in our life. I've been saying for many, many, many years now, you're either about to get in trouble, you're in trouble, or you're just coming out of trouble, but there's really not any other place you can be. And my kids laugh at me for that, but it's kind of how life is, you know. A friend of mine taking care of her mom and has found a way to get through trouble and is seeing things in a better way. You know, it's a good way to know that you can help somebody, and that's a good thing. In my situation, helping my daughter, helping my wife, it's a good thing. But the key to faith is believing in invisible things, that God can do things that no one can see. And sometimes, you know, we get into our lives and we can't see our way clear. And so people of faith, choose to believe in a God who is present and doing things that no one else can see. No one can see what God is doing in our lives. We can experience it. And so I used to, this particular verse was a key verse in my conversations in my life that I've had with people who don't believe in God. And I've had many over the years. And this is just a key understanding for that conversation. It says, by faith, we understand that the universe was created by invisible things. God made stuff out of nothing. And you know, when you think about the sources of the world around us, for example, I used to have this thought, and one of the friends at Wesley helped me think this through. If you just lay 4 pieces of pine lumber on the table and say, I want a birdhouse, and you lay it out maybe in the weather or something, and how much wind, rain, sand, what's it going to take to turn those 4 pieces of lumber into a birdhouse? How much time? Is it even possible? And the answer is not possible. It can't be done. But what this writer is saying is even more fantastic than that. I want a birdhouse, and I'm not going to give you anything to make it. You get no resources. You have to make it out of nothing. And that's impossible. It can't be done. You know, but God does it. He's made the entire universe. That's what this says. We understand that the universe was formed by God's command. He simply spoke it. And God said, let there be light. He spoke it, and it was so. And that, I think that's the sticking point for people who are choosing not to believe in God, they can't imagine that something can be made out of nothing. Um, I think that's one of the sticking points. But people of faith say, well, that's the only way that all of this could have been made. Um, there's a source of origin, and that's a God who is a creator God who speaks and it happens. And yes, he makes it out of nothing. Profound truth when it is applied to my own life. You know, I look at my own life, and if you compare your life, compare my life with like creation, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Well, we know that he created it out of nothing. He just simply spoke it. But it's important for us to realize how and why God takes nothing and what he does with it. Uh, the universe was chaos. There was darkness over the face of the deep. There was like a primordial chaos. And sometimes my life feels that way, and I'm sure that yours does too. Today's going to be one of those chaotic days with a lot going on, and it's normal now. But it's normal because I get this image that over top of the chaos, it says, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the darkness, just kind of waiting for God to say, do it. And when God speaks, the Spirit creates. And that's such a profound application to our own lives. You know, when you feel like things are a little bit crazy and you're a little bit losing control, or you know, too much is going on at the same time, like my day today is going to be. You, we understand. People of faith understand. Spirit of God's just hovering over our lives, waiting for an opportunity to do what? Create order, bring peace, hope, joy, all the Advent stuff, you know, and that's what God does. The invisible God, the invisible hand of God, works in my life to bring me those things. It may or may not change the chaos that surrounds me, but it certainly brings order into my life, just as God brought order to the earth. And there's still chaos all around the universe, and there's some chaos even on the earth. But God's always that spirit that's hovering over the darkness, waiting to bring order. It's the invisible hand of God. And that's what I wanted to share with you today is we who are believers, we believe in invisible things. We believe in the invisible power of God that is moving the universe toward a destination. He started it, he finishes it, he's in charge of it, and it does what he wants it to do. And I humble myself to it, and I accept that, and that's faith. I trust that God has a plan, and I want to be part of that plan. And so whatever your chaos is today, perhaps it would be helpful for you to remember the invisible hand of God in your life, and that he's just hovering, wanting to bring you all of the fruit of the Spirit and the joy that it is to be a believer. So you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, you believe in the invisible hand of God, and you have a great